Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, would you object to this door colour? We find out why someone has. We head to Grasby to find out why it became a midsummer dream. We visit a sensory garden which is enhancing the lives of the pupils who use it. And we visit Louth to see which special visitors one cafe has been hosting. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Emma Lingard, but first it's over to Erica Barker for the news headlines. New teams are to be set up aiming to help bring jobs, growth and prosperity to our coastal communities. The government is providing more than £1 million to set up 110 coastal community teams across England, including North East Lincolnshire, Hull, Bridlington, East Lindsey and Goole. Along with each of them being awarded £10,000 to kickstart work, they'll also be able to bid for up to a £50,000 share of a new £3 million coastal revival fund to support or restore local heritage. East Lindsey District Council say they welcome news that a planning application for 970 homes in Louth has been dismissed. The private developer appealed the decision taken by the council to refuse the application for the site of Longbourn Road. But the Secretary of State and the Planning Inspector judged the council's decision to be the right one, finding it would have a significant impact on the integrity, role and character of the town. Brocklesby Park Primary School in Lincolnshire is to close next week after the fight to keep it open was lost. Lincolnshire County Council took the decision, saying low pupil numbers were to blame. Currently only 14 children attend the school. And preparations are underway for a charity music festival taking place in Cleethorpes next week, inspired by Tracy Henriksen from Keelby, who suffers with a disease which affects her nervous system. She captured the imagination of the community with her push to get Ed Sheeran to perform his song Thinking Out Loud at her wedding in October. Well, the lineup includes an Ed Sheeran tribute, and Tracy tells us why the song means so much.
The first line of the song is, when your legs don't work like they used to before. Now, we're obviously getting married. We've got to do a first dance. That was our perfect choice for a first dance song. His words sum up basically everything that our relationship is about, and it's about loving someone no matter what they're going through, and that, you know, to him, he'll still love me even though my legs don't work, no matter whether I grow old. And to find someone that you can go through life with like that is special.
The event takes place on Friday the 24th of July at the Cleethorpes Meridian Showground, the day before Cleethfest. And that's all from the news. Thank you, Erica. St Luke's School in Scunthorpe is celebrating after the opening of a garden built entirely on community donations. The £24,000 garden will provide new experiences for the pupils, as Dave Nunn went to find out.
2 years of fundraising work came to fruition at St Luke's School in Scunthorpe last week, following the opening of a sensory garden at the school.
It's been 2 years in development. We've been raising funds, we've done lots of bike rides, lots of raffles, lots of tombolas, and we've had some really, really good support from our local community to make this happen.
The hard fundraising work is all going to a great cause, as the children from the school, some of whom have learning difficulties, will get to learn and relax outside.
The garden primarily is a sensory garden, so the children can come into the garden and experience the different sights and smells. They can interact with the plants. Eventually they'll all grow much, much bigger. It's going to be a great space where they can come into the garden. Teachers can have stories time with the children in there, and it's a way that we can also celebrate some of the past students we've had who used to come here. It will be an extra place where they can come and learn, but for some of our children, they learn through experiences. So they will be able to experience touching the different plants, feeling the plants, getting the smells from the plants, and interacting with things like the water feature as well.
The The £24,000 needed to build the garden was fundraised entirely by members of staff in the local community, and there are ambitions to raise more money to add to the great work already done.
We've raised just over £24,000 so far. We do need a little bit more because we've still got a couple of projects that we want to complete in it. One's putting a story corner and a memorial tree as well, and we're just waiting for funding for those. It's a lot of money. It took us 2 years and a lot of hard work. We've had staff doing all sorts of wonderful things. We've had lots of friends at the school supporting events and having events for this. We've had loads of donations from local organisations. We've had people who've had their head shaved. We've had people who've given up drinking as well for a month. We've raised money for it.
St Andrew's Hospice organises many fundraising events throughout the year to raise money to help adults and children with life-limiting illnesses. Ted Ford, a keen gardener based in Waltham, has held many open garden events over the years, and this time it'll be his last. He's done well over 1,000 days volunteering for the hospice. Dan Kemp went to find out more and check out his wonderful garden.
Since retiring, Ted's garden has been a labour of love, and every year he opens his front gates to the public for a local charity. One weekend last summer, he raised around £850 and will look to do the same again this time, looking to go out on a high.
As one gets a bit older, the enthusiasm doesn't wane, but the age does possibly. So I thought, well, it'd be to make this our last effort. We've gone for the celebration, actually, of the celebration of VE Day.
Every year Ted offers something different to the viewers. This year, remembering VE Day, he's added the new area. But it's about so much more than gardening to Ted. The hospice he chose to support is close to his heart.
My eldest sister, my eldest brother, my youngest brother and brother-in-law, they've all died from cancer, of some kind of cancer. And so I don't need any other motive, I suppose, to be able to open the gardens if we can raise more funds for the hospice.
After well over 1,000 days lending his time and helping to build the hospice, the courage of those living there resonated with Ted, and that's why he continues his magnificent fundraising campaign.
I was so taken by the courage of the people who attended this on daycares, and so I sort of made that in my mind, I suppose, as the charity that I would like to fund.
You're watching Estuary News. I'm Emma Lingard. Now, what would you do with a £5? It won't get you far nowadays, but one class at Grasby Primary School have been seeing how far they can stretch it and if they can invest it to make more money. Dan Kemp went to see how one group of pupils at the school invested their cash wisely.
Katie, Alice and Anna from Grasby All Saints Primary put their money together to put on the Shakespeare comedy A Midsummer Night's Dream for the local community. It gave them many challenges, and making money was the bottom line.
Well, we had to keep track of who's bought tickets, and we've had to make lots and lots of confetti. Oh yeah, using the paper stampers.
It was a 360-degree performance. Over on the far side, the mechanicals were pleasing the crowds. But of course there is a serious side to it. The £5 challenge has provided the children with some great experience, and teacher Mrs Rowlands is glad she picked for her class to do it.
It actually gives them life skills dealing with money, working out that it's hard work to run your own business, but also very rewarding when customers keep coming back. And generally the children love the interaction with different people. They've run stalls at Caister, stalls in the village, and they've done that all on their own initiative. And so it really is life skills. The first night, we performed the other night on the hottest day of the year, and we had 55 people attend. And today we've got a good attendance, and the sun is trying to come out and has kept the rain away. So I think overall we'll have had well in excess of 100 people here. So very, very pleased.
We organised this play because
we were doing the fiver challenge, and we thought that we'd help Mrs. Rollins organise the play, but she hadn't really organised it yet.
Wednesday should have been the day Westminster voted on relaxing hunting laws in England and Wales. However, it was shelved following Scottish Nationalist Party leader Nicola Sturgeon's announcement that her party would force a delay by voting against the amendment, despite her party agreeing not to vote on issues affecting England and Wales. Sturgeon added it was done as David Cameron was out of touch with the people in England. We took to the streets to find out your views on whether the law should have been amended to allow an unlimited number of dogs to flush out a fox in order for it to be shot.
Whether they should never be culled, you mean? Just leave wildlife alone, I think, definitely. I've always been passionate about that. Foxes, wolves mainly. But yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. Definitely not. I think there are other more humane ways to get rid of things like that. So.
Oh, fancy ball is a fox. I mean, it's not very nice, is it?
When they pull it to pieces, it's terrible.
Yeah. I think after all, it's just fun for these very rich people. And I do not agree with it. I never have done, because I'm an animal person.
I mean, in a way, it's a good thing, but in a way, now foxes have got too many, the same as badgers have got too many. So I don't know what the answer is. If you bring back fox hunting, it reduces the foxes. It would make it even, but you can't get it that. You can't get a happy medium with it.
It's just the country way of living. I mean, it's been there for a long time, for years now. And why they've just started to do goodies, I think, started to ban them, I don't know, because it is a good sport. Well, I think, because I live in the country anyway, so, and I believe in it. I mean, we're being overrun by them anyway, so they do want cutting down a bit.
We've had a ban, and it's been flaunted by those people that are protected by politicians and those types of people. So, you know, we're just the commoners, you know, having to do as we're told as usual, aren't we?
So in some ways I do. I think it's better to shoot them than it is to have the dogs go after them. Right. Because they are getting to be a nuisance, particularly the urban ones.
Would you paint your front door bright green? A Lincolnshire preschool have set up a petition to save their lime green doors after the local council received an objection almost 2 years since they were originally painted. 350 people have already signed the petition, and Dan Kemp went along to see what all the fuss is about.
The colour green. It's everywhere in Orchid's preschool, but now some people in Barton-upon-Humber are tired with it. The colour matches the signage and children's uniform, but some are unhappy that the doors aren't in keeping with the rest of the property.
If the thoughts had come through earlier on, I would have changed them, but because they've been here 20 months now and the doors were the first thing that we actually painted, because they are our corporate colours, we decided that we was going to fight the cause on it. The children absolutely love it. All the children and the staff wear green. It's our identity really to the preschool, and we feel that it fits well in the environment with the nature of what the preschool's all about.
Barton Civic Society are yet to comment on the story. June Hannah owns a shop across the road from the preschool, and she can't see a problem with it.
I don't think they should be complaining at all. It's clean, it's fresh. You know, it's a vocal point. The kiddies wear the same colour as the doors on the jumpers. And God forbid if any of the kids got out, they've got a vocal point to go to.
And to children, it's more than just a colour.
Do we all look the same, Oliver?
Yes.
Yeah. And when we go out, what happens if we go outside?
Everyone that we're from Orchids.
Everybody knows we're from Orchids, that's right, that's true.
I just think it's a little bit petty with a green door. If we did actually decide to leave the building, we would change it back to its original colours, but at the minute we're not prepared to do that because it's a wonderful preschool and it's in a lovely environment, and we wouldn't have wanted the building to go to rack and ruin. We've kept it nice and we keep the gardens nice as well with it.
Cities and towns around the country have been embracing the idea of cycle hubs where people can leave or rent bikes. Now Hull has become the latest city to get one, and it aims to bring a variety of benefits to the city, as Dave Nunn found out when he pedalled on down to the Paragon interchange.
A new cycle hub with space for 160 riders has opened in Hull's Paragon Interchange.
A lot of bicycles were being stolen actually in the city centre itself, and people were finding it difficult to come into the city and no facilities. So we then explored where we could go and find funding, etc. And the Ministry of Transport have been very, very generous. They've given the main bulk of the funding for this hub, and they're going to try and set up similar things all over the country so that people can come either by train or by bus, walk in with their bikes, or if they want to hire a bicycle, they can walk in and get one, or they can come with their own bicycles, as you can see, and for very cheap costs, £1 a day, and then £5 for 7 days, etc., etc. They can then book their bikes in, and it's 100% secure.
Bike crime is a problem in Hull, with 900 bikes stolen in the city every year, which is why Humberside's Police and Crime Commissioner contributed £24,000 to the fund from the Community Crime Prevention Fund.
In the city of Hull, about 900 bikes a year are stolen, and 300 of those from the city centre. So when I was approached to look at assisting with financing a secure bike storage facility, I had no hesitation. This is a great example of the sort of scheme that I hope would come forward for my Community Crime Prevention Grant scheme. It's a way of preventing crimes from happening and preventing people becoming the victims of crime. Investing in that is absolutely the right thing to do.
A 2011 report claimed that 58,000 adults in Hull are obese, so the managers of this new cycle hub claim that it is one of the ways to tackle that, with help from organisations like the police and Transpennine Express.
What we're looking for is to get, especially towards going into the city as a family. That's why we've got a range of bicycles. We've got additional seats that can be put on bicycles for small children, so people can go as a family into the city, get exercise. There's lots of cycle tracks all over Hull and right out to Cottingham and to the East Coast that they can go on. And so we thought that it would be a good idea to incorporate everything as much as we can, and that's why we're so grateful for the Ministry of Transport giving us the money, as well as the Transpennine Express, who have been extremely helpful and supportive with the funding, and also the Crime Commissioner.
And now it's time for the Mayor's Going Where.
Hello, I'm Dave Barton, Mayor of Immingham. On the 20th of May I was made up to that position, and that's when I introduced my charity for this year, which is the Nurses Fund, based on the Roxton practice. They cover palliative care for 16-year-olds upwards in the local community. My first event was to open a new subway in the Civic Centre. I also attended various other civic services with our neighbouring boroughs and towns. Canon Peter Hall School invited me to open their new outdoor classroom, which has been built using locally sourced natural products, using old-style toolings. I was very, very astounded by what I actually saw and how they produced and built that. My wife and I are attending a celebration event at Gainsborough Old Hall to start the proceedings to celebrate the Pilgrim 400, which is 400 years since the Mayflower and the Pilgrims headed for America. This is going to involve Holland, Boston, Immingham and Plymouth. Is the Immingham in Bloom judging. That's what I've been up to. Quite busy, all worth the while for this great local community that we have that's up and coming.
The owner of a coffee house in Louth got a nasty shock recently when he thought intruders were breaking in. Fearing for his business, he quickly went to see what was going on, but what he found left him speechless. Erica Barker went to investigate to see what was lurking in the shadows.
Larder's Coffee House in Louth. A warm drink, maybe a read of the paper, like any other coffee shop, you could say. But spooky tales and the supernatural lay wait up these steps. Could we finally have proof that the dead walk among us?
I didn't actually believe what I was seeing because we have a live feed to the mobile phone, so I was actually at home when the camera's activated. I've got to come and check it out. So I've got in the car with my wife, we're on our way. My son's seen more movement, so he's called the police because we honestly thought it was burglars.
But when they arrived, no one was there. Well, no one human.
So what we've actually seen is around the sofas to the right of me is movement and shadowy figures.
We couldn't actually make out what we were looking at, but definitely something not right. The table in front of the sofas, the chair to the back was in full focus, and the chairs in front were all blurred. And we've got a mist type, whatever it is, right in the middle of the coffee shop.
And the spooky goings-on don't stop there.
Well, it's been a running joke for a couple of years with the staff. Because we're on 4 floors, we work with two-way radios. And they're well aware, and it's been a bit of a giggle, that there have been voices on the radios when no one's actually been on them.
The other girls are a bit freaked out by it, but I'm just interested. I'm just intrigued to know what it is and who it is and how they died and why they're here.
Is it affecting custom? It seems not.
Some places have a cold sort of feel. This place doesn't. I mean, it's a lovely place. So, I'm fine having a coffee here. I'd come back again and recommend it to other people. So.
Whether it's mist or something a little more sinister, you're a believer or a skeptic, only time will tell.
And now it's over to Erica Barker for the sports news.
Tonight at the KC Lightstream Stadium, Hull KR go head-to-head with city rivals Hull FC. The Black and Whites have their upper hand as they are in 8th position and 2 points ahead of the Robins. This is the 226th meeting between the sides. Hull FC beats Hull KR 46 points to 20 at the Magic Weekend in May. After an intensive pre-season workout in the Algarve, tonight Steve Bruce's Hull City side face North Ferriby United for the annual Billy Bly Memorial Match. Meanwhile, the club has announced the match day ticket prices for the forthcoming championship season. Supporters will again have a 3-tier price structure in place. Full details are on the club's website. Meanwhile, after 3 back-to-back wins, Grimsby Town travelled to Gainsborough Trinity on Saturday afternoon, hoping to continue the momentum. Manager Paul Hurst might still be without first-choice goalkeeper James McEwen, who missed the North Ferriby game with injury, so Andy Warrington may have to continue in his absence. Scunthorpe United will decide on whether or not to offer terms to winger Nathaniel Mendez-Laing after the weekend. A free agent after being released by Peterborough United at the end of last season, the 23-year-old has spent the whole of pre-season so far training with the Iron in a bid to earn a contract with Mark's Robins side. And Saturday sees Market Raisin Racecourse host their annual Betfred Summer Plate and Journal Ladies Day. And that's the latest from the sports.
That's it. Join us again next week for more news from across the regions. If you have a story for us, then go to our Facebook or Twitter pages or email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 315 553. Until next week, goodbye.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Windy and fairly cloudy on Saturday with some patchy rain possible, clearing to sunny spells through the day with winds slowly easing and a maximum temperature of 19 degrees. Unsettled and perhaps windy at times on Sunday with bands of rain moving through.